Hey, how are you doing everyone? My name is Maestro and today we're breaking down the trailer that just dropped for the new DLC character in Skullgirls, which is Annie. She was already added to Skullgirls Mobile, but now she's also coming to the PC version and she looks really good. So let's just look at these couple of sequences here. There are 5 sequences in total, so we'll go step by step through every single one of them and see what happens, see what the developers decided to show us here for this character. And of course the link to the official trailer will be in the description. So the first sequence they show here is crouching medium punch into probably heavy kick, and the heavy kick is a launcher, which brings us into an air section where there is a throw reset, and then she goes into a level 1 super. It's kind of straightforward. So one thing to note here is that the combo counter is at 3 hits, so that means the standing heavy kick was the 3rd hit in the string, so there was already a light attack that was not in the shot, but it was part of the combo. And then she jumped and did an air throw, but that was not a true combo. So she did not combo into this air throw, so this in fact was a reset. It seems to me that she jumps quite early for this throw reset. Normally you cannot throw immediately after you do your standing launcher, which is most oftentimes like a heavy attack or a crouching heavy attack in this game. So for her it's standing heavy kick, and then she jumps quite soon afterwards after she does the standing heavy kick. So maybe that is a way for developers to show that you can actually throw resets really soon after you do your launcher. So that might be something unique to this character. Because normally if you just hold up or up forward after you do your standing launcher, your air throw will whiff. So maybe that's something unique to this character. And then as you can see there it says 2 hits. So that confused me a bit at first, but apparently her air throw is 2 hits. That's possible, of course. And then she connects it into her level 1 super. And she has quite a lot of level 1 supers, so we will of course analyze the other ones later in the video. So that was actually quite straightforward, so let's now look to the second sequence. And it starts off immediately interesting. It's kind of hard to see, but if you go to the right frame you can see that she does a standing heavy punch, and then she cancels it into this move. And that's why I think that this is actually a special move. So it's probably quarter circle back and punch, that would be my guess. And I'm guessing that this is also an overhead. You can see Miss Fortune is stand blocking this. But of course that doesn't mean that it has to be an overhead, but that's I think a way of the developers to show that this is in fact an overhead attack. And then we see this move. I think this is either a jumping medium kick or jumping heavy kick. Could be either one in my opinion. And then we go into this move, which is I think jumping heavy punch. And I really like this animation for a couple of reasons. The hitbox looks very large, so that's always good to jump in with like this. And it can also be used for cross-ups. We will see that in a later sequence. But in this game it's quite prevalent of course to go for resets. And I feel like when you do this very low to the ground, this jumping heavy punch, you can see that you can probably go for some kind of reset, like a throw reset, or maybe even do an air dash over and stuff like that. So this hitbox is probably very useful for cross-ups as well as resets. So this is probably a go-to move, jumping heavy punch that is. And if you look closely, you can actually see Annie actually walks forward a little bit before she goes for her jab. So she is probably holding forward and then just jabbing. That way you can see that jumping heavy punch actually has quite a lot of hit stun as well. So that it's not hard to follow up with anything. You can even like walk forward a little bit and then go for your jab. And it is a combo because now it says 3 hits. And then just a medium kick into what I think is a standing heavy punch, but we will come back to that later. Cancelled into the special move that she did before as well, and then cancelled into a super. So there's a lot to unpack here, but a very interesting sequence I think. So it starts with this overhead special move, I'm just gonna call it that. And she cancels this special move, or this special move has a very short recovery in which you're able to do normals afterwards. It's quite interesting. Jumping medium kick or jumping heavy kick into jumping heavy punch, walk forward, jab, medium kick, heavy punch, into the special move, into a super cancel. And then you see that she is able to do multiple supers in a combo. These are both level 1s, you can look at the meter here. Now she has 3 bars, and as soon as she does this beam super, she has 2 bars, so that's a level 1. And now when she activates this sword slash, she has 1 meter, so that's also a level 1. Right, so she can cancel supers into supers, so that's pretty interesting. Alright, so this is the third sequence, and here we can see the cross-up potential of jumping heavy punch. You can probably go for a Street Fighter style cross-up where you just jump forward and then hit them on the other side. Into a crouching light kick, crouching medium punch into heavy kick. So that crouching medium punch into heavy kick is apparently a go-to option because we've seen it 2 times now in this trailer. And then a jumping light punch into another jumping light punch. I think it could be a jumping medium punch, but I think it's just 2 times jumping light punch. Into this jumping heavy punch again. And then we see something interesting. I think now that I've seen it a couple of times that this is her jumping heavy kick because she can cancel it from her jumping heavy punch. And then she actually does this jumping heavy kick 3 times in a row. It's kind of crazy, but really interesting. What is another possibility is that this set of 3 dive kicks is actually a baked-in special move, but she also did one of these kicks in the previous sequence. So I don't think you can special cancel into normals into this game. So I think you can link or maybe even chain these 3 jumping heavy kicks together. So that's pretty interesting. So it leads to a knockdown even on aerial hit. And she links it into a dash up crouching light kick. Pretty interesting dash animation. I think it's just her normal dash, animation. Some characters have this kind of dash where they kind of skate forward. They have a lot of forward momentum and not just a single dash like you're used to in other fighting games. One character who also has this is Eliza, for example. Crouching light kick into crouching medium punch into super cancel. So the ending is quite straightforward. Okay, so here we are in scene number 4. We start with a dash up into a jab. It's blocked. I think this is her standing medium kick, and you can actually chain 2 of those together. I think if you input 2 medium kicks, you get this 2-hit combo. That's why I think it's her medium kick and not her light kick, because generally in this game, if you mash a light button, you get the same animation 2 times. So that's why I think it is a medium. Could be a special move, but I think she changed this into her sweep, so her crouching heavy kick. It is a 2-hitter. That's not a unique thing in this game. Dash up, and here we are. This is a very interesting point. So there's a couple of things that this move can be. I don't think it's her standing heavy punch, because we have already seen that. So what it could be is a command normal, for example, forward heavy punch. That could be this move, or it could even be a special move. To me, it would be most plausible if this was a command normal like forward heavy punch. So apart from what this move could be, you can already see that this is a great move to go for. It has a great hitbox to deal with jumpers. As you know, a lot of offense in this game is air dash based. I think this button will be able to stop a lot of air dash offense. It doesn't look that quick, so you might not be able to do it on reaction. It looks like it has a great disjointed hitbox in front of and above Annie, so that's always really nice for anti-airing. And now we go into this move, which is another interesting part. So this is a little 2-hit string that she does after this sword normal, and it is actually a 3-hit combo, so that all comboed into each other. And again, this could be a number of different things. Could be a command normal or a special move. Could be possible to be a back heavy punch, for example. But what I think is that this is a special move. So that could probably be like Quadruple Forward and your punch button. As far as I am aware, there are not any Rekka style special moves in Skullgirls. I might be wrong about that. But what would be more likely, I think, is just if you input, for example, Quadruple Forward punch, you get this first punch. And then if you input another punch, then you get this second hit. You would input this as forward heavy punch, Quadruple Forward punch, punch. That would be the most logical in my opinion. What is also possible is that this enormous anti-air sword normal is actually part of the special move. So that is a special move which starts with the sword, and then you have 2 punch follow-ups from this sword move. That's also possible, but I think the sword move is a normal and the 2 punches are a special move. Right, so here we are in the final sequence, and there's a lot to unpack here, so bear with me. First we see this animation. This is a level 1 install super. Great animation. As you can see, before Annie had 3 bars and now she has 2 bars. And you can see it is an install because 1, it didn't do any damage. And 2, she has like this glowing aura around her, which indicates that the install is currently active. So she dashes up, and this crouching light kick just reaches a lot. Maybe that hitbox is a bit altered, but I might be misseeing this. And now we go into the 2-hitting standing medium kick into a standing heavy punch. And as you can see, the animation is slightly altered here. There's this nice rainbow effect. So of course this install super can mean a lot of things. For example, you do more damage while you are in this install. That's almost a given, I feel like. And there's one more possibility, but we'll come back to that later. And she cancels this heavy punch into the overhead hitting special move. And she links that into a jab, into a medium kick, into a heavy kick. When I saw this, I thought of a second possibility when it comes to the install. As you know, in Skullgirls, hit stun decay or hit stun deterioration is a big part of the combo system. So especially at high level, you are all the time looking for different ways to extend your combo and maybe to end your combo early, to go for a reset and stuff like that. So you're always taking hit stun into account in this game. So what I think could be a possibility is that you actually do more hit stun, maybe a select number of normals or maybe every single normal or special move, so that there are more combo routes possible while in the install. That will be really interesting and really cool if that is the case, so I'm hoping for that. And because she was in the install, then this link from the special move into the standing jab would be possible, and normally outside of the install that would not be possible. For example, that could be it. So she goes for a regular ground string into the launcher, and she cancels the launcher into this uppercut style move. Really cool animation, especially with the added galaxy-like effect. So we haven't seen this move yet. It could be one of two things. Maybe a crouching heavy punch or a Shoryuken style special move. What would make more sense to me if this was a DP special move. Shoryuken motion forward and your punch button. Right, so the opponent is launched high into the air. Then there's a ground bounce and Annie dashes up and goes for a low attack. This could be an idea from the developers to show us, look, this ground string into DP into a different ground string is not possible outside of the install, but is possible within the install. So I'm just speculating here. Of course, we won't know until the character is released. But I think it's just fun to speculate like this. Right, and then we see another low normal that we don't know. So this is a crouching medium kick that we've seen before. And then we see the second crouching medium kick that's actually performed by her little bunny friend here. So this normal has great range. I don't think we've seen Annie do multiple crouching light kicks in this trailer. So it could be that she has access to this long-ranging second hit. But what also could be a possibility is that her moveset, even her normals, alter slightly when she is in this install, because she's still in the install. You can see the pink aura. So it would make sense to me because of the this whole celestial, magical theme, that once she activates the install, there are a couple of altered normals in which her bunny friend helps out, and helps out with his stretchy limbs apparently. And she cancels the second hit into her standing heavy kick again. And then there's a very interesting animation. When I saw this for the first time, this looked like another super move, but if you look closely, that she doesn't spend any bar doing this. She's at 2 bars, and after this animation she's still at 2 bars. This didn't cost anything. So to me it looks something like a V-trigger activation that happens in Street Fighter V. So what I think is that this is the moment where the install super actually runs out. It's not a meter drain thing, but I think it's on a timer, similar to something like Golden Frieza in Dragon Ball FighterZ. And you can see also in this final string that eventually the aura changes color. So you can see now it's kind of orangey and it starts to become red, and now it's yellow. At that moment you can see this kind of like a visual indication that okay, the install is about to run out, so it will trigger this animation. What is interesting to me, that the deactivation of the install, that's the way I'm gonna call it, actually has a hitbox and is able to be used in the combo. So as you can see, Filia is launched high up in the sky, so that any player actually uses this hit stun to land another level 1 super. What I would actually hope is that when you are in the install, you can do an input. Maybe it's the same input as the install super itself, or maybe something like a down and kicks or down and punches. These kind of inputs have been in Skullgirls before, so that you can deactivate the install super at any moment during the time that you are in the install. That would be really interesting, because then you can actually incorporate it into your strings or into your combos, into your block pressure maybe even. But if it's on the timer, then of course Annie becomes like this lab monster character that you have to lab every single install combo that you want, because As you can see in this trailer, the install doesn't last for that long. If you've ever been comboed in this game, you know that combos can take a long time. If Annie activates the install and she is on the offense, that means that in the next combo she has to deplete the install as well. So either deactivate or that the timer runs out. So that means that you have to have very specific install super combos that possibly even have the activation of the install super as part of it. So that's gonna require a lot of labbing. So that's also one of the reasons why I hope that the player can actually decide when to deactivate the install. This already has quite a lot of implications, like what happens, for example, if you just activate this install in neutral and then you're on the defensive. Maybe it has invincible startup, this install, so that your opponent knows that at a certain moment this kind of burst action of this install will happen, so that at that moment they cannot be comboed anymore, something like that, that it becomes a mind game of playing around the deactivation of the install. That would be interesting. And of course, this will be given an extra layer if any player can actually decide when to deactivate the install. We will see if that's the case, but I'm afraid that it will be a simple timer based thing. Again, like Golden Frieza. Right, so this character has a lot of different super moves. It's very interesting. So she has 3 level 1s that we already saw in this trailer. So maybe she doesn't even need a level 3, but she probably has. Most characters, I think, have a level 3 in this game. I cannot think off the top of my head of a character that does not have a level 3. So she has this beam super, she has a sword super, and she has the install super, all 3 of them level 1s. So that's very interesting, and you can even combo one into the other. So the thing that I'm most on the fence about is actually what are the special moves, because I think that this kind of jumping overhead attack is a special move. That's probably quarter circle back and your punch button. So this is actually the part that has the most question marks to me. Is this big sword move a special move? Could be. I think it's a command normal, or maybe even her standing heavy punch, and then like what I called her standing heavy punch is something else. And that this like double hitting move is actually a special move. But the fact that it's double hitting is kind of interesting. Maybe it is a Rekka style move, but I don't think Skullgirls has a Rekka moves at this point, so I don't think they will add them. I think it's just quarter circle forward punch, and then you can choose to do the follow-up or not. Or maybe you can even do a different follow-up, that's possible. But I just think it's more in the vein of quarter circle forward punch, punch. This character is really interesting to me. I think we got quite a good look in this trailer to see what the character is about. Of course, we will see when the character actually releases. I've done a bit of searching and I could not find any release date for this character. So yeah, I'm really interested in this character, so I'll definitely play her when she comes out and build a team around her, maybe and try and go for some DHC synergy setups with Annie. I think that's one of the most fun parts of this game, so I'll definitely give her the full treatment to that effect. So if you're new to my channel, hey, I hope you're doing well. I play a bunch of different fighting games on this channel, focused on Arc System games, so a lot of Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball FighterZ, Street Fighter V occasionally, and also Skullgirls of course, and Fantasy Strike, so those are the main games on my channel. Links to my other socials will be in the description, so I appreciate it if you would check those out. Right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and subscribe for more Skullgirls content and other fighting games as well. If you want to see more Skullgirls, there's a video on the left, and if you want to see what else we cover on this channel, there's a video on the right. But anyway, thanks again for watching, stay safe out there, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye bye!